What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? And welcome back here today to the second channel, where today we're going to be reacting to a mock draft that the Athletic Sam Vecini, I always mispronounce his name, but he posted. He's kind of like their main draft guy over at the Athletic. I do have a subscription. I've already read this article because it actually goes in depth, and it's a great article. It's a great mock draft. He goes in depth on each pick, a decent amount, so I definitely recommend checking it out. I'll leave the link to the article in the description if you guys do have an Athletic account, and I do recommend it if you don't. I know it's things because you have to pay for it, and a lot of people like free articles, but I think like it's they always run promotions, and you end up paying like $30 a year, and you obviously do the math. That's like $2.50 a month. That's not bad whatsoever. So yeah, I'll leave a link to the article in the description if you want to check it out. And without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so I don't know if he maybe did a draft. I forgot if he did a lottery here, but I don't believe so. So yeah, it's gonna be currently. Oh wait, did he do a lottery? Yes, he did. Okay, I forgot. So yeah, he went on Tankathon and he mixed this up. I was thinking of another one. So yeah, the Timberwolves got the #1 overall pick in the draft, and they would take Anthony Edwards. And I think if the Timberwolves got the #1 overall pick in the draft, I think that they would definitely pick Anthony Edwards, because obviously they have D'Angelo Russell probably as their primary guard, and then they obviously have Karl-Anthony Towns, and then they have some other wings like Josh Okogie. They also have Jared Culver and Malik Beasley if they bring him back. So obviously they need that power forward next to the cap, but there will be a couple of them in free agency that they can go after. Maybe it's a Serge Ibaka, maybe it's a Derek Favors, maybe it's, I don't know, they can go out and get Julius Randle. I don't know. There's definitely going to be a lot of people on the market that they can acquire, either by cap space or a pretty low-costing trade. So I think Anthony Edwards would be a great fit next to D'Lo. I think he actually has pretty good defensive potential in the NBA. He's strong. He's still quick out there on the perimeter. And I agree with this pick, because now you have a nice foundation of D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, and Cat. You don't have your first-round pick next year, and it's looking like Culver might not be a starter in the NBA just based off his shortened rookie year. But I think that's a no-brainer pick if the Timberwolves get #1. Now, Knicks at 2. I agree with this pick. Obviously, it's not going to be James Wiseman. They are highly invested into Mitchell Robinson. It might not seem like that because they don't start him still, but still, it would be kind of dumb for them to take James Wiseman here with Mitchell Robinson under contract for the next 2 years. They do need a playmaking guard desperately, so they have him. They have LaMelo. They have Cole Anthony. They have Manny and Killian Hayes. They would have a bunch on the board if they got the second overall pick in the draft. Obviously, RJ Barrett didn't show great signs on the defensive end. I thought he looked better in the beginning of the year than he did kind of his second half of the shortened rookie year. But LaMelo Ball, not going to be a good defender, but he's definitely a playmaker, and you're going to surround RJ with potentially another shooter, so you kind of have a foundation of RJ, Mitch, and LaMelo Ball. It's not terrible. And then maybe you can run some 3-man lineups with Neil Kina technically at the 3, but it can provide more defensive help. With Dennis Smith Jr. probably going to be traded in the offseason, and I don't think they'll bring back Alfred Payton. I think this would be a good pick for the Knicks, and I think, yeah, they'd be very happy with that. Denny Avdija going 3 to the Chicago Bulls. I like this pick as well, just because the Bulls, they have a lot of guys at certain positions, but who really are kind of ceiling movers. They have Wendell Carter Jr. at the 5. He's shown that he could be a starter in the NBA. Same with Markkanen at the 4. Otto Porter at the 3, but we don't know with his injury history. Zach LaVine at the 2. We don't know if he's really a winning player yet. And obviously Kobe White at the 1. Hopefully he's actually been playing a lot better as of late, or before the NBA got suspended. So Denny Avdija, possibly as their small forward, I think would be great, because then you could roll out White, LaVine, Avdija, Markkanen, and Carter Jr. Not great defensively, but it's kind of, I think, a foundation. And then maybe you could progress to Avdija, who could be a shooter in the NBA, or he probably will be a shooter in the NBA, because he's making probably 50% of his threes. Yeah, it says in his last 8 games. Because I know he struggled in the beginning of the year, but his role was diminished. He really wasn't getting that many looks. So I do like that pick there. 4 to the Pistons, or 4 to the Pistons. Weisman at 4 to the Pistons. Now, this would have to be a case, are the Pistons going to go point guard, or are they going to go center? Because obviously there's Killian Hayes, there's Cole Anthony still on the board, or they're going to go big man like a James Wiseman or Inoka Okongwu here at 4, obviously because they just traded Andre Drummond. Are they going to trade Derrick Rose in the offseason? So James Wiseman could be a good fit here. I like all these so far. Obviously he'd be the Drummond replacement, and then maybe, because Christian Wood can space the floor, will that work out? Christian Wood and Wiseman in that front court, and then obviously you're going to have Blake Griffin coming back, so who knows if they would all mesh, but Blake Griffin probably won't be there for the next couple years, or at least in 2 years anyway. So I do like, I'm a fan of that pick. I'm not gonna be like, wow, that's kind of a reach, or why would they do that? So yeah, I agree with all these picks so far. Obi Toppin at 5 to the Warriors. Okay, so he said he will be voting Toppin for Toppin for National Player of the Year. Obi Toppin, could he be a 5 in Golden State? I don't know. I think with guys possibly like Onyeka Okongwu here, who they can get actually like a better rim protecting 5, who I think is a better defender than Obi Toppin. That could, I think I would rather take Onyeka Okongwu here at 5 over Obi Toppin, because how do you think he's going to work with Draymond? Because if Obi Toppin doesn't translate as a shooter in the NBA, now you kind of have 2 non-shooters in that front court with Toppin and Draymond Green. Obviously, they don't really need shooting too much, because obviously they have the Splash Bros, so they're fine there at 3-point shooting. But I disagree with this pick a little bit. I would go Onyeka Okongwu over Obi Toppin here. But speaking of Okongwu, he has the Cavs taking him here at 6. Obviously, they just drafted 2 point guards. They just traded for Andre Drummond. They have a power forward in Kevin Love. They just invested into Cedi Osman at the 3, and Kevin Porter Jr. is looking like he could be a good 3 in the NBA. So, yeah, they are in a weird spot, like he says here. So I think Okongwu, if he was still on the board at 6, I think this is a good pick. I think this might even be a value pick here for the Cavs at 6. And if Drummond, if you kind of realize he's not really a long-term good player in the NBA that you kind of want in the playoffs, he's not really shown that he's like a good playoff center, and his numbers are kind of inflated due to just high rebounds and high points because of the teams he's played on. I think, yeah, he's probably going to opt in this summer, but then next summer you can move on. Like, you can kind of develop Okongwu through his rookie year off the bench, and then you can let Drummond walk and let him be the starting center. Hawks at 7, they take Isaac Okoro here, or Isaac Okoro, Isaac Okoro. But yeah, they need defensive help definitely on the wing. So now he would probably come off the bench due to Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, John Collins. So he probably wouldn't start for them, but I think he would be a really good fit because now you're looking kind of like the best players on the board: Cole Anthony, Killian Hayes, Tyrese Maxey, kind of all combo guards, and none are really great defensively that you would really want next to Trae Young, because Trae Young, we know, not a good defender whatsoever. So Isaac Okoro, really good defender. I do like this pick a lot. So the only one I really disagree with here is having Obi Toppin over Okongwu here at the 5th pick to the Warriors. So 8, he has the Charlotte Hornets taking Cole Anthony. This is cool because he is from, or he's playing in North Carolina, so he stays in that state. I don't know how I feel with them taking a guard here, because obviously they have Devontae Graham and Rozier, but really kind of, are either of them going to be a good point guard in the NBA? Yes, they're good point guards. I mean, like, ceiling movers that you would want on a playoffs, or you would start them on a good team. So I honestly wouldn't mind this risk, but now you kind of have a logjam at the guard position with Rozier, Graham, and Anthony. But honestly, that's not that bad, because you'll have Miles Bridges at the 3, and then if you want to give up on him, and then you'll have PJ Washington at the 4, who played pretty solid for them in his rookie year. So you really kind of only need that 5, or if you want to move Washington to the 5, then you have kind of, you need that 4. And in this draft, the bigs aren't great, so I wouldn't really disagree with that pick. Now, Wizards at 9, getting Killian Hayes, I think that would be huge, because you're getting kind of a guard that I think he's in my tier 1 prospects. Currently, just where I'm at, I have, I think, 4 tier 1 guys at the moment. It's Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Killian Hayes, and I believe Onyeka Okongwu is my top 4 in this draft. So Killian Hayes at 9, I think it's great, especially if you're going to think you're going to move on from Bradley Beal at one point, and then if John Wall's maybe not going to be there in the future, I think he could definitely pick that up. And I honestly think he could be a nice fit with Bradley Beal as well, because I think he's a combo guard. He doesn't really need the ball in his hands. He isn't shooting great, but I really like his jump shot, because I know his shooting percentages aren't really great in the BBL in Germany. He is from France. So I like this pick here at 9, especially if you're going to move on from Bradley Beal, and you can kind of run 2 guard set with him and John Wall in the future. But I think they want to keep Bradley Beal, and I think he'd be a really good bench player for them. But I don't know if he would help out their defense entirely. Tyrese Maxey to the Suns at 10. I don't know if they would do this, because they would, they got Nico Mannion from Arizona, so they might want to keep him, keep him in Arizona. But yeah, I do like this pick. I think if Killian Hayes fell, that would, I think, be great for Phoenix. But Tyrese Maxey, he's a combo guard. He's technically listed as a shooting guard, but he is really small. He's 6'3", and if you kind of look at him on the court, he looks like he's 6'2", 6'1". So I don't know if he's going to be more of a point guard or a shooting guard. His defense is solid. It's not like, wow, it's not mind-blowing, but it is solid for what he's doing at Kentucky. He's a good inside scorer, and if you think he could play well with Booker, I think that would be a solid fit. Because now when we get past the top 10, we know this draft isn't great, really kind of who's going to be here that the Suns would take over him. That could be Tyrese Haliburton, but Tyrese Haliburton is a combo guard due to his size and his kind of lack of shooting. He's in horrible at shooting. I actually like Haliburton a lot. I think he should definitely go in the top 10 in this draft. But Sam, I'm going to say I'm just going to call him Sam because I don't want to butcher his last name. He definitely knows more than me about the college basketball because he does this for a living. So if he thinks he would knock on the top 10, I could take his word on that. So yeah, I'm not gonna like read everything he does because you could just kind of go to there. But he has him go to the Spurs. See, that's why I'm not really a huge fan of the Spurs taking a guard, because you have DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Bryn Forbes, Lonnie Walker. They just have a bunch of guys there in that backcourt. So would they invest another pick on a guard? We would see. But DeRozan might opt in, might opt out, but he'll probably be going down the line. Same with Aldridge. They might need to attack the wings and the bigs for the future. So Kings at 12. Precious Achiuwa. This is high. It's the highest I've seen him. Achiuwa is a forward at Memphis, or at least he wants to play like a forward. He's a lot better at center, because he can space the floor a little bit, and he does have a very tall wingspan, or a wide wingspan. He's 6'9", though, but he is athletic enough, I think, to guard guys. Yeah, he says, I think that's a good comp. Bam Adebayo. This is high. And obviously they have Bagley and Rashawn Holmes. Would they do this? I think they would maybe want like a Tyrese Maxey or a Halliburton if they were to move on from Buddy Hield, if he wanted to get traded. So that's an interesting pick there. But yeah, maybe Rashawn Holmes might not be the answer, and Achiuwa might have some potential to be better than Holmes down the line. At 13, we have the Pelicans, or he has the Pelicans, excuse me, taking RJ Hampton. I like this pick. I think they should go guard, definitely, because Jrue Holiday's getting up there in age. Hey, he's 30. I believe he's 30, or might be 29, so I really shouldn't say getting up there in age. But you kind of want that guy to kind of replace him down the line, because you have your forwards for the future in Ingram and Williamson. You kind of have your centers currently if they bring back Favors, and they have Jackson Hayes in the pipeline. So it's really kind of deciding, is Lonzo Ball your long-term point guard, and you can kind of take somebody that can maybe replace him down the line. At 14, the end of the lottery, he has the Trailblazers taking Devin Vassell out of Florida State. I actually haven't watched too much Vassell this year. Same with Patrick Williams from Florida State, so I'm not going to really make an assumption on him. But they do need a wing scorer off the bench, so if he's that guy, they definitely need that. But 6'5", a little bit undersized, maybe as a 3, so maybe he's more of a 2. But yeah, they definitely need some guys. It's looking like he is your 3 and D player. So that's something to note. Theo Maledon going 15 at the Magic. He's an overseas point guard. People have him kind of in definitely lower than Killian Hayes, but kind of a little bit in the same boat. He's definitely a project guy. And I think that's why people are going to be intrigued with him, kind of in the Frank Ntilikina range. Obviously, Ntilikina hasn't lived up to the top 10 hype, and they do have Markelle Fultz there, so I definitely think they do need a point guard. I also think they might need a true small forward, because I think they should, what the Magic should do is trade Aaron Gordon, because if they like Jonathan Isaac more, you move, I think Isaac's better at a 4, and I think that's what they should do personally. So maybe going a point guard here. I don't know. But actually, I don't mind that pick, and obviously they're going to have Chuma Okeke coming back next year. I think a big riser this year is Saddiq Bey from Nova, and he has him going 16 of the Timberwolves. This is from the 4-team trade with the Brooklyn pick. And yeah, a lot of people going to this year, they were all into Jeremiah Robinson Earl, JRE, he was their top recruit, and Brian Antoine, who really disappointed because he was hurt and really hasn't done much. But Saddiq Bey has been a really good wing player, and I think he'll definitely go in the top 20. I think he definitely deserves to go in the top 20 in this draft. You can see he's a 6'8" wing. I really like him. He's good attacking inside. I think he could do a lot with the ball in his hands. I think he definitely has defensive potential, and I think he could be a good maybe small forward for them down the line if they think Culver's undersized, Okogie can't space the floor, it really can't be a knockdown shooter for them, but they could just kind of maybe use Saddiq Bey as the 3-and-D guy, and yeah, he mentioned that there. So Boston Celtics, they're going to take Aaron Nesmith here, 19-year-old sophomore out of Vanderbilt. He's another guy that I haven't watched too much yet. You know what? If anybody has a synergy plug, please let me know, because it's hard, because some games, like, I really go to YouTube or ESPN Replay or Fox Sports Replay. That's really the best I could do to watch some film. I'm not lucky enough or blessed enough to have a Synergy account. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of it's a company, I guess you can call it a company, and they have your website, and they upload every Division 1 game, at least I know, to it, so you can watch every Division 1 game for all these players' careers in college, and you can kind of, it's a full game, and that's how you could watch film. And a lot of these like websites like Athletic, the Stepien, all the like SB Nation, they all have accounts to it, and obviously all the college teams have accounts, and I think it's hard to get a hold of them, and if you want to get an account, it's like $10,000 a year. It's insane. It's insane, but it's very helpful. But yeah, I haven't watched Aaron Nesmith here, so I'm not going to make an assumption. Jaden McDaniels, I know a lot of people, I've watched a little bit of him this year. He's a high risk. He's definitely a high risk, but I think the potential is there. He's a 6'10" forward. If he could be maybe a stretch 4, if he could get strong enough, maybe he can develop into that. Like, I'm not going to say like the Giannis, yeah, the Giannis mold. Obviously not as good as Giannis, but he's going to be that 6'10", 6'9", 6'11" freak with the ball in his hands that could maybe space the floor. He has been a good shooter this year, but he is very skinny. I wouldn't say he's a great ball handler. He's the guy who can handle the ball. I don't think he's really the best ball handler in the world, personally, from what I saw from him in a couple games. But I think the Mavericks, that's a great value pick there. Maybe it could be a nice fit with Kristaps as well. I'm only going to do the first round here as well. Isaiah Stewart to the Bucks here. I don't know if I like that fit at all, because Isaiah Stewart, he's a 6'9" center who really can't shoot the ball. How valuable is that going to be in the NBA? He's strong. He's a great rebounder. He's a very good rim protector. But someone that can space the floor at 6'9", I feel like that can get abused. I don't know with the Bucks, because they have Brook Lopez. They might look for a shooter at this period. So maybe I disagree with that pick a little bit. I don't think I would take Isaiah Stewart in the top 20 personally. Patrick Williams from Florida State. He is the Nets taking him from the Philadelphia. That is their pick. All I know about Patrick Williams, I watched a couple games due to just me watching UNC and Duke, is he's a very good defender. He's a very good defender, and he might be one of the best defenders in this draft. He is 6'8", and he's a wing. That's very valuable in the NBA. Jaylon Smith from Maryland here. At the Nuggets pick at 21, that is from the 4-team trade. He could maybe down the line be a Paul Millsap replacement for them if they like him a lot, or he can come off the bench. But yeah, is he a forward? Is he a center? Obviously, if he's on the Nuggets, he'd be more of a forward, or maybe if they don't bring back Mason Plumlee, he could be their backup center. At 22, the Philadelphia 76ers taking Jahmius Ramsey from Texas Tech. I think this would be a good pick as well. They need some scoring off the bench. They need a bench in general. He's maybe more of a, he's definitely more of a 2 than a 3. And if he could just kind of be somewhat of a solid shooter, just maybe better than or around what Furkan Korkmaz can do, that might be asking a lot from him. But if he could be that guy, I think they could definitely use somebody off the bench like that. Miami Heat taking Trey Jones here. It's an interesting pick due to them having Goran Dragic. If they're going to bring him back, they have Kendrick Nunn, obviously. Jimmy Butler likes to handle the ball. Maybe Trey Jones could be a valuable backup point guard. And honestly, I think he's a very good guy. He's got good instincts, good intangibles for a guard. I think he's a very smart player. And I think, with Eric Spoelstra, he could make him a pretty solid player. Utah Jazz taking Kira Lewis. He's been a big riser. A lot of people didn't think he would be a first-round pick. Some people think he's a lottery pick. So this might be a little bit lower. And he's a guy who could score. He could score. He could play make. He's a good passer. And I think he could shoot the ball as well. I think this would be a great pick for the Jazz, and I just don't see him falling as far as 24. Moving on to the last 5 picks, 25, the OKC Thunder from the Jeremy Grant trade, taking Josh Greene from Arizona. He is a raw prospect, in my opinion, coming out of college. I don't think he'll be great in his first year, but I definitely think he has some scoring potential, and their wings are kind of like a little bit bleak if you look past SGA that are in the young category, like Ugan Dort, how good could he be? Hamidou Diallo, how good could he be? So this would, or Darius Baisley, but he's more of a bigger wing. How good could he be? So I think they should definitely take a flyer here on a wing, because at point guard they're fine. At center they're pretty good, at least if they're keeping Adams. And then at the 4 they have Gallo if they bring him back, and Baisley. So I think they should definitely take a wing player here, more towards a small forward position. And Greene could definitely play that down the line, I believe. At 26, the Celtics taking Vernon Carey Jr. If he could blossom into a starting center, this would be great, because Daniel Tice's getting up there in age, and his counter is looking like he won't be a playoff center whatsoever. And Robert Williams and Grant Williams don't look like they're ever going to be starting NBA centers that are like good enough that you want to play them 30 minutes a night. Maybe Grant a little bit, but he just, I don't know if he's mobile, he's agile enough in the modern day NBA, but he is a great defender. Vernon Carey Jr. at the 26th pick. Why not? That could be just a why not pick. Who did they, wait, I forgot to mention, because they will have the Memphis pick. Oh, so they already had him taking Aaron Nesmith. Okay. So, yeah, they have him taking Vernon Carey Jr. here, and I think they should definitely target a big man in this draft, so I think that's a solid pick. Wow! Okay, I forgot about Nico Mannion, that he didn't have him, and the Knicks getting him with the Clippers pick? I think that'd be great. But now the Knicks would just have so many guards on roster, technically, because if they pick up Payton's option, I don't think they should, but they would have LaMelo Ball, because he had him drafting him, Dennis Smith Jr., Frank Ntilikina, and now Nico Mannion, who I think will go in the lottery maybe. I think I don't think he's the greatest decision maker. I don't think his IQ is as good, but I definitely think he has a chance to be a solid backup, maybe even starter point guard in the NBA. I think he could shoot the ball. I think he's a guy you can rely on with the ball in his hands. But obviously he's going to talk about his negatives here, his weaknesses. So 27, I think that's the lowest I've ever seen him in a mock draft. This guy from Minnesota, I've never heard of him, and I probably should have, so I'm not going to make an assumption here for the Raptors, so I apologize. Najee, or Najee, excuse me, so or Najee, so the Lakers, I think this is a great pick. I think he can actually, he's a high motor center from Arizona. Obviously, they already have so many big men. Maybe they look for a shooter particularly here, because this is going to be their last first-round pick they own for a while. Or at least, yeah, because they'll get the worser of them and the Pelicans will own their picks, some of them. So, interesting pick here at 29. I think this is actually a good pick for the Lakers, but if they have AD, they're going to probably want to bring back Dwight, JaVale. How many bigs do they need? So they might go more of a wing player here, or a point guard, a backup point guard. And then the final pick of the first round, Devin Dotson, going to the Celtics here at 30. He would obviously contend with, as the backup point guard, with like Carson Edwards and Brad Wanamaker, and I think he's a better player than Carson Edwards, so I think he's a really good player at Kansas. I know he's going to be in that the Winning Award winner or something, I believe so, or he's at least a finalist. I thought at least he was, and I think he'd be a really good backup point guard in the NBA, and hey, if you're a winning team like the Celtics, I think that's a great pick there at 30. So yeah, I only wanted to do the first round there. I will leave a link to the article in the description below if you want to check it out, and yeah, like always, let me know in the comments any other things you guys want me to react to or just talk about. Let me know. So yeah, that is going to be for me. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.